Amidst the quiet streets and seemingly ordinary lives, where darkness lurks and ordinary lives are shattered, 4 individuals stand out for their heinous acts that defy comprehension. Each story is a chilling reminder of the depths of human depravity and the devastating impact of unchecked rage and violence. First, meet Ronnie O'Neill, a man whose descent into madness led to a horrific act of violence that shocked a community. Then, there is Randall Moore, whose twisted sense of justice resulted in a trail of destruction and despair. Keith Ferguson's story is one of domestic turmoil turned deadly, leaving a family torn apart by tragedy. Finally, Michael Swanson's killing spree sent shockwaves through 2 towns, leaving a trail of devastation in his wake. These 4 stories are not just tales of crime and punishment. They are cautionary tales, warning us of the dangers of unchecked anger and the devastating consequences it can have on innocent lives. As we delve into the lives of these individuals, we are forced to confront the darkness that resides within us all and the choices we make in moments of rage and despair. Join us as we unravel the mysteries of these chilling crimes, exploring the minds of the perpetrators and the impact of their actions on those around them. These stories are not for the faint of heart, but for those brave enough to peer into the abyss and confront the darkness that lies within us all.
I am not sorry for something I didn't do, and I am not sorry for the things I did do.
Mr. O'Neill,
All right.
Listen, stop.
All right.
Listen to me.
I'm not
going to raise your voice again.
I'm not going to raise my voice again. I'm not.
I will have you removed from this courtroom. I can sentence you without you being present.
Yes, ma'am.
In the heart of Riverview, Florida, a horrifying tale unfolded. A story of unspeakable violence and chilling disregard for human life. Meet Ronnie O'Neill, a man who stood accused of the most heinous crimes imaginable, murdering his own family in cold blood. It started on a fateful night when Ronnie, in a fit of rage, fatally shot his girlfriend, Kenyatta Barron, in their home. But his rampage didn't end there. Ronnie then turned his violence on his own flesh and blood, brutally striking his 9-year-old daughter multiple times with a hatchet, ending her young life. As if that wasn't enough, Ronnie then stabbed his 8-year-old son before dousing the house in gasoline and setting it ablaze. The scene was one of utter devastation, but amid the chaos, a glimmer of hope emerged. Ronnie's son managed to escape, though he was critically wounded and scarred for life. The 911 calls that night painted a harrowing picture of the horror that unfolded. Kenyatta, in her final moments, screaming for help before the line went dead. "I've just been attacked by some white demons inside. Kiki, her name is Kiki, and she tried to kill me." But despite his monstrous actions, Ronnie showed no remorse. During his trial, he shockingly chose to represent himself, even cross-examining his own son, who bravely testified against him. In a chilling display, Ronnie asked his son, "Did I hurt you that night?" To which his son replied, "Yes, you stabbed me." In the end, justice prevailed. Ronnie O'Neill was found guilty and sentenced to 3 life sentences plus 90 years without parole. Ronnie O'Neill's heinous crimes will forever be etched in the annals of history, a reminder of the darkest depths of human depravity.
My daughter, Teresa Ann Marie Lynch, was evil, hateful, and despicable. You are now dead and rotting and repulsive to me.
Read the journal she wrote. She hated you.
Thank you, Judge.
She hated you.
Thank you.
You're a loser. And I'll tell you point blank, I have not 1 ounce of remorse for Teresa Ann's death. It could have all been prevented. All you had to do is let me see my kid. Now you're never going to see her again.
If anybody didn't know what a piece of work you were before you start talking, they know it now. The court doesn't allow me to punish you any more than I'm doing now. If I could, I would.
In a serene town, a man's obsessive quest for control and vengeance unleashed a wave of tragedy that would forever alter the fabric of the community. Meet Randall Moore, a seemingly ordinary man whose inner turmoil and dark desires would lead him down a path of destruction. It all started with a simple protective order filed by his estranged wife, Teresa Ann Lynch. Rather than accepting the situation, Moore's response was one of unfathomable violence and retribution. He brazenly kidnapped Teresa, setting off a chain of events that would shatter the lives of everyone involved. Officer Todd Rowland, responding to the scene, was shot and wounded by Moore, who then barricaded himself inside a nearby residence. The town was plunged into chaos as a standoff ensued, with Moore showing no signs of remorse or surrender. After a tense negotiation, Moore was finally apprehended, but the scars of his actions ran deep. During his trial, Moore's demeanor was chilling, displaying a cold indifference to the pain and suffering he had caused. As the verdict was read, his stoic expression betrayed no emotion, further unsettling the courtroom. At the sentencing, the victims' families delivered powerful impact statements, condemning Moore for his heinous crimes. Teresa's mother, in a poignant moment, expressed her profound loss and anger, leaving no doubt about the devastation Moore had wrought. Randall Moore's story stands as a stark reminder of the destructive power of unchecked rage and the importance of seeking help before it's too late. His actions serve as a cautionary tale, urging us to all confront our inner demons before they consume us.
The defendant has already murdered multiple people and fled and has taken hostages.
All right, Mr. Ferguson, can I get you to stand up there at the podium, please? All right, I need to have you raise your right hand for me. Okay, all right.
Put me back my
Okay, stop.
I knew one day we would kill her. She would always reply, "He loves his kids too much. He won't kill me. He loved them so much, he murdered their mother and grandfather."
You may not meet the clinical definition of insanity, but there's clearly something fundamentally wrong with you.
I see y'all in hell.
Within the serene confines of a peaceful town, chaos erupted, leaving a family shattered and a community reeling. We're thrust into the heart of the turmoil, witnessing a heated argument between Keith Ferguson and his estranged wife, Tiffany. Their once idyllic relationship had soured, culminating in a bitter divorce and a protective order against Keith. In a sudden burst of rage, Keith's demeanor shifted from simmering resentment to unfathomable fury. He viciously attacked Tiffany, culminating in a horrific act of violence. The cold-blooded shooting of Tiffany in front of their 4 innocent children, forever etching the scene in their young minds. The sound of the gunshot reverberated through the quiet neighborhood, shattering the peaceful facade that once enveloped the street. But Keith's rampage didn't end there. Seeking to inflict more pain, he forcibly took the children to Tiffany's parents' house, where he callously ended the life of his father-in-law, compounding the tragedy. The once welcoming home now bore witness to a horrific crime, the walls stained with the blood of innocent victims. Fleeing the scene, Keith sought refuge in a nearby house, leading to a tense standoff with law enforcement that held the town in a grip of fear and disbelief. The flashing lights of police cars illuminating the night sky, casting an eerie glow over the otherwise quiet neighborhood. As the trial unfolded, Keith's lack of remorse was chilling. He seemed disconnected from the gravity of his actions, leaving many to question the depths of his depravity. The courtroom was filled with a palpable sense of unease as onlookers struggled to comprehend the heinous nature of Keith's crimes. As the sentencing phase commenced, Tiffany's best friend bravely stepped forward to deliver a heart-wrenching victim impact statement, expressing the community's shock and grief over Keith's actions. Her words echoed through the courtroom, a poignant reminder of the human cost of Keith's senseless violence. Keith Ferguson's crimes serve as a somber reminder of the devastating impact of domestic violence and the critical need for intervention and support for those in abusive relationships. His story stands as a stark cautionary tale, urging us all to be vigilant and proactive in preventing such senseless tragedies.
I want to know if you're even sorry. Are you sorry for what you did? My mom was not only completely 100% innocent, but she was also a defenseless woman when you came in with that gun. You said you did it for cigarettes and money and so no one could identify you, but I think that's a lie. You did it, as you later said on, that it was so you could feel powerful. How could killing a defenseless woman and an outright execution be powerful or fair? My mom did nothing to you.
How did it feel when you pulled the trigger? I mean, some people say that, it feels powerful or that it's kind of a rush, or what did you feel when you pulled the trigger? I felt powerful. Where did you shoot? On the body? Yeah. And in the face. In the face? Okay. Why the face? I thought I was just gonna shoot to injure her. Why would I shoot her at all?
I then intentionally, deliberately, and with premeditation shot the clerk, causing her to die. I did this with a specific intent to kill her.
For the rest of your life is the only alternative, and the court intends to follow through.
In the quiet town of Algano, Iowa, the neon glow of a gas station sign illuminated the night, casting eerie shadows across the deserted streets. Inside, Vicki Bowman Hall stood behind the counter, her wary eyes scanning the empty aisles. Little did she know the tranquility of the night was about to be shattered by the arrival of Michael Swanson, a 17-year-old boy whose youthful face belied the darkness that lurked within. Swanson, his features hidden behind a ski mask, entered the store with purpose, his movements calculated and deliberate. In his hand, he clutched a handgun, a symbol of the power he sought to wield. Despite Hull's compliance with his demands, Swanson's grip on reality had slipped beyond redemption. With a cold detachment, he raised the gun and fired, the deafening sound of the gunshot shattering the silence of the night. An hour later, in the town of Humboldt, Iowa, another gas station bore witness to Swanson's rampage. Sheila Myers, a mother and wife, stood behind the counter, unaware of the horror that was about to unfold. Swanson, emboldened by his earlier act of violence, repeated his actions with chilling efficiency. The echoes of his gunshots reverberated through the store, signaling the end of another innocent life. As Swanson fled the scene, a trail of destruction and despair lay in his wake. His actions were not driven by necessity or desperation, but by a twisted desire for power and control. When questioned by authorities, Swanson's admission sent a chill down their spines. Murder was his primary goal, a means to an end that only he could comprehend. At his trial, Swanson sat stoically, his expression betraying no hint of remorse or regret. The devastating impact of his actions was laid bare for all to see, a stark reminder of the destructive power of unchecked rage and the devastating consequences it can have on innocent lives. One of the victim's daughters, her voice trembling with emotion, confronted Swanson, demanding to know if he was sorry for what he had done. Swanson's response was as chilling as his crimes. No remorse, no regret, only a cold acknowledgement of the power he had wielded over the lives of others. Michael Swanson's story serves as a cautionary tale, a stark reminder of the darkness that lurks within us all. It is a reminder that the choices we make in moments of anger and rage can have far-reaching consequences, forever altering the lives of those around us. As we conclude our journey through these harrowing tales of darkness and despair, we are left with a profound sense of unease and introspection. The stories of Ronnie O'Neill, Randall Moore, Keith Ferguson, and Michael Swanson serve as stark reminders of the fragility of life and the depths of human depravity. But amidst the darkness, there is also light. The communities affected by these tragedies have shown resilience and strength in the face of unspeakable horror. They have come together to support one another, to mourn their losses, and to seek justice for the victims. As we reflect on these stories, let us not forget the lessons they teach us. Let us remember the importance of empathy, compassion, and understanding. Let us strive to build a world where such senseless violence has no place, where every life is valued and protected. And let us never forget the victims, whose lives were cut short by the senseless actions of others. May their memories be a reminder of the preciousness of life and the need to cherish every moment we have. As we bid farewell to these stories, let us carry their lessons with us, guiding us towards a future where peace and understanding prevail.